hopefully our live will. You are live. Hi,
Yay!
everyone. Who can see
Yay!
us? So we're using StreamYard. I'm coming back to it. I used it for a while, and I decided to come. I decided to come back to it, and I do know that there is a delay. A delay involved. So let me pull up my phone here and see if I can see anybody in our wonderful wonderful Facebook group. And then I'll give Deb, our guest, our amazing intro, and kick things off properly. If you can, I know that in order to comment, yep, here we go. In order to comment, you do need to grant some access to StreamYard, so you can do that. So go for it there. Otherwise, if you are catching it on a platform and you're not able to comment and have it up here in the StreamYard, whatever, we know where the video went. We'll go to and we can follow up with your questions afterwards if we don't happen to see your questions at the end here. Oh, Lynn says we look great on YouTube. Thank you.
Awesome. That's
okay,
great.
Deb's fan club is here. Yay. Yvonne says, hi, Deb. So glad to be here. Oh, gosh. And this is exciting for me, too. I have done a ton of live broadcasts, which you can probably tell by my casual demeanor as I try to polish it a little bit. But this is my first time using StreamYard to stream to YouTube. So I'm excited that it's working. Yvonne, thank you so much for that. Oh, wonderful. And Deb and I just figured out all the fun. Deb, I always feel super comfortable talking about what's going on behind the scenes, since we're talking into a group of us.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, completely. I know. Trying to figure out all the little details and the logistics and on new platform to me anyway, and getting it all to work.
So I never hide anything, because you guys, whether you're like, oh, well, maybe I should stream on YouTube. Oh, maybe I should try StreamYard. I never hide anything, and anything I do, anything that goes great, anything that goes not so great, because maybe it saves you a headache, or helps you find a way to grow your business beyond, what you're doing. Because of course, that's why, that is why we're here. So, exactly. Deb, I know you have a presentation to get to. Thank you so much. So let me introduce you properly, though it seems like the wonderful people that are here and commenting may already know a lot about you. But let me read your amazing intro, so people that are catching us live that maybe don't know you, as well as the rest of us, but people that are watching the recording who get to learn you after this know who you are. So, and Deb Goeschel, she marries an extensive creative background: writing, editing, acting, photography, yoga, journalism, and graphic and web design, and a 20+ years of corporate and entrepreneurial marketing and communications experience to lead the team at your beautiful, amazing content marketing agency, Message Artist Creative Group. Her intuitive and storytelling perspective is behind every client project, large or small. Message Artist Creative Group creates unique, standout branding, writes marketing content that makes a difference, helping her small and mid-sized business clients reach their ideal audience more easily. From blogs to emails, brochures and websites and more. Oh, yes. Deb and team. Oh, so much more. Deb and team are communication partner you can rely on. And so Deb Goeschel is our amazing guest. And for those of you who don't know who I am, I always forget to introduce myself. I'm Amy Whitestone. I'm the founder of the Women's Small Business and Leadership Network, and I am a small business growth advisor. And we are missioned here together in terms of helping people grow their businesses. So without further ado, Deb.
Hi. Thank you, Danny, for that very fun, warm welcome and intro. I am very excited to be here and share today's presentation with anybody who is watching live. Thank you so much. Or folks who are going to catch the recording. Going to talk about landing pages because they are a huge, wonderful tool you can use in your marketing. So let's just dive right in, right? So, and as Danny said, definitely throw your questions in, and if we somehow miss them in the live, we will absolutely follow up afterwards. And also, anybody who is live, if you message Danny with your email, I have a landing page guide that I'm happy to share with you if you are interested in having that. So anyway, so today we're going to go through and really look at what an effective landing page is, how it's different from other pages on your website, and why they really are crucial to your marketing efforts, and the return, the ROI can be really amazing. So we're going to talk about what the essential elements are that have to be on the page, and also some resources. We'll touch on some resources that can help you create that effective landing page. And then, of course, we will talk a little bit about, what happens after you have the landing page. And it's just like with any marketing effort, if you don't do the follow-up, you kind of just wasted your time, right? So this is what we're going to cover today. So essentially, what is a landing page? The term gets thrown around. It's gotten a little bit more, common terminology these days. But the first thing is to be really clear about what it is and why it's important. So a post-click landing page, right? And we call it post-click because it's a page that folks get to after clicking something somewhere, right? So it's technically disconnected from the rest of your website. It doesn't show up in the site navigation, and its sole purpose in life is to convince a visitor to respond to your call to action. So the wonderful thing about these is that they really do have and can deliver a high ROI for you. And really, when you look at that, it's basically, you've created the page, you've created the content, and whatever's behind it, because that's the thing, the landing page is the thing you use to sell or promote something that you're trying to get out to your audience, right? And research has shown that using a post-click landing page can generate literally so many more leads than those who don't use them at all. And some companies, of course, depending on how big you are, can have, 1, 10, 20 landing pages. It really kind of depends on your business and what you're offering. But for small micro businesses or, solo entrepreneurs, you're generally only going to have, 1 to 5, depending on, again, what your business is and what you're offering. But the wonderful thing about this is that it gives you the opportunity to begin to build that like, know, trust factor, right? So you begin to build relationship with your audience, and you can also manage their expectations, because if they land on your landing page and it actually delivers what you've promised, you win, right? So the biggest reason for using the landing pages, I've already said, it generates leads, right? So when you think about it, too many companies, business owners, you're sending out your email, your social media, and search traffic gets sent to your homepage, and that's really not effective. Your homepage is, the Macy's window or the Macy's windows, right? There's generally a lot of choices on a homepage. If it's done really well, you've got some very strategic direction to get them where you want to go. But the bottom line is you've got the whole site navigation. You usually have a little bit of intro. You've got, some intro into the services or product offerings you have. So there's a lot of choices. If you generate the leads and you can capture them and send them to one place with a sole purpose, that's really helpful. And because of that, it increases your conversion rate because it's inspiring a specific action. So, if you send somebody to the homepage, again, too many choices, but they're responding to something that appealed to them, and they're going directly to that page that's speaking exactly to that topic, and that's helpful. The other thing is it's also really, it's a lot easier to track data, right? So the landing pages, if they're set up right and are part of a larger system, they're going to track how many people land, how many people click, right? And then you can see how many people go all the way through. So depending on what the landing page is for, sometimes it might literally be you're collecting email addresses, right? So it's your freebie. And your whole purpose is just to get them on your email list. But what if you're selling a service, a new service or a new product? Then what you're going to want is a way to track how many people, clicked on your call to action, so they've landed on your landing page. How many people clicked through to whatever, that action was? How many people bought? How many people booked the appointment? There's a way to really track your data. And that's super helpful from a marketing perspective. I'm the first to say I'm not really a big, huge fan of, analytics and data, but at the same time, it's information that helps us scale, grow, adjust as needed in our businesses. It's also helpful for you to like see what works with your business, right? So you can, you know, if you've got the time, resources, etc., you can kind of experiment with landing pages and offerings, and you can see, oh wow, this offering I got so many hits, right? So many people downloaded in my audience. And then you might have another offering that really didn't appeal. So what that tells you is your audience wants product or offering A, right? And that's the thing. So you lean into that. So it helps you save time in the long run too. And of course, obviously, anytime you're sharing these types of things, it's just helping your brand, because of course your landing page should be designed in a way that is aligned and promotes and supports your brand. That's a big deal. So they really work in essence because it's one single page, right? It's got one goal, one purpose, one outbound link. You've made it super simple for your audience to take action. And that's the key here, right? There's no complication. It's one goal. And the return on investment is actually really, really excellent. So we're going to go through the elements of a landing page so you can see how to build it. Now, you'll see some landing pages that are really, really long. I personally am not a fan of those because I get bored. But again, depending on what you're offering, what the price point is, or whether it's a freebie. So you kind of have to play with that. But these elements that we're going to talk about need to be on whatever landing page you create, right? This is sort of the basics that we're going to cover. So there are several key elements. You can see I've got them sort of outlined here. And the big thing is, you know, what's the unique selling proposition? So that's going to include things like your grabbing headline, your supporting subheads, the reinforcing statements, closing arguments. You want to have great creative. Again, it's really got to be in alignment with your brand, your visual identity, so that people recognize you. Again, direct soul purpose content, right? So you're really driving people to that concise place in your language. Social proof. So that could be a lot of different things. And we're going to go into some of these, but all the elements are there, right? And by the way, this what you're seeing, the image there, the example, that's the guide that I'm willing to share with you guys. So when you look at your unique selling proposition, right, you've got to have the headline, and you can see where I've kind of, you know, 1A, 1B, 1B, 1B repeats a little bit. So that's the elements that happen. So you'll see that on some of the longer landing pages that you've I'm sure every one of us has seen, right? You'll have the headlines repeating or slightly different. There's the call to action maybe in several places. One call to action, just multiple places to access it. That's all that means. And that just helps people really make their way through the page. The creative, you want it to be bold. Well, again, with your brand, whatever makes sense, but you want it to be simple. You don't want it to be overly designed, right? It has to be easy to follow, but you want to make sure that, you know, that hero image or the video or something that is right up front that conveys a sense of emotion that you want to evoke, or excitement, or, you know, etc. Big time here, right? The benefits, the direct message. This is the whole point. Why are they going to click? Why are they going to take action? Because you are showing the value of whatever it is that you are sharing with them, right? So a little bit of detail. And again, always come back to the benefits. You can talk about features a little bit if it's relevant, if it makes sense. But the idea always is answer that customer question. What's in it for me? Why should I spend my money? Why should I spend my time? Why should I give you my email address, right? So you have to be really clear with your benefits about why they should click through. Social proof, right? And this is a big deal for us these days, and everybody loves their reviews. Everybody wants to know what somebody else thinks about, you know, your offer, your products, etc. But it can be a number of things. So maybe it's video testimonial, maybe it's even screenshots of, you know, tweets or Facebook posts, testimonials, actual testimonials, which always work well because, again, people love to have information from somebody else about what it's like to work with you or to buy from you. So really important to have at least one or, at least one. A few is even better. Again, depending on how long and what it is you're offering, it has to make sense. But the thing to remember is that on landing pages, it's often, even on your regular website, right? People are more apt to click on that button, that buy, that download, whatever, if there's also a testimonial nearby, because it's just like, ooh, that last, yeah, you have to do this. This is really great. And always that critical single focus call to action, right? So whatever it is that you're offering, again, it could be just signing up to get on your email list. So you're offering some high value or perceived value freebie. You want to also make sure that when you put your landing page together, the call to action is not lost. It has to be very obvious. You want to make it easy for them to take action. You want it to be compelling. So, the size of your buttons will matter. You don't want it to drown out other design elements, but they've got to be really clear that this is where you take action, right? And you want to be careful of your language as well, right? Because things like sign up, submit, actually don't work well for converting your visitors. It seems a little intimidating or a little too salesy. So, put something like, yes, I want free shipping, or get started now, or yes, I want to download whatever the name of your freebie is, right? So think about things like that. So making it a little more friendly, a little more exciting versus submit, right? It makes you feel like you're sending in your taxes or something. And that's not very exciting unless you're expecting a really big return. So the other thing to remember is that the landing page, again, sole purpose, one goal. So you don't want to have any other exit points on your landing page. So even if, like this example, right, I had done a similar, can you all still hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I had my headset did a little funny beep and I didn't want to make sure you could still hear me. Okay.
Let us know, anybody who's watching, let us know if you're still there.
Yeah. I know, right? So the other thing to remember is, again, no exit points, right? So again, your header, footer navigation is gone. And the example I'm putting here, I had done a similar presentation with my friend Susan Finn, and some of you probably know Susan. But even with our profiles there, et cetera, there's no links to our website. There's no links to other bios or social sites. You put up what you need to have on the web page, but you don't allow anybody any other exit but whatever that call to action is that you need them to take, right? And if they want it abandoned completely, they just click out of that particular browser window. But you're making it very easy for them to stay focused on what it is you want them to do, right? And the other thing is, well, I think I have a slide that says test, right? Test, because all of this has to be taken care of. And that really comes into this place here. So the other thing about your landing page is you really need to be mobile optimized, truly mobile optimized. So you want to make sure that anything that you can do on the landing page on your laptop or desktop, you can do easily on your phone, because so many people, they're looking at stuff on their phone. So if you share something, for instance, on your social platforms and it links back to this freebie, like that's how, you put a social media post up, or you actually did a pay-per-click ad, right, to drive traffic to this landing page. How often are people, like, they're on their phone, they're scrolling through their social media when they're killing time or whatever else, but they see your ad or they see your post and they click on it. If they get to the landing page and it doesn't look perfectly wonderful on your phone, you're going to lose them.
Let us know in the comments if you've seen this, in terms of you click on something that looks interesting and then all of a sudden you pull it up on your phone and it's just a hot mess of like half words and half faces, and you just go, oh no, it's such a break of trust. And it's like, oh no, they're there, you got them, and then gone. thankfully there's so many platforms that are getting ahead of this to help us not make
Yes.
these mistakes. But
Yes.
I'm so glad you're talking about. Yes, Lynn says, "Oh yes, yep."
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure Lynn, with the work she does, she's seen many different sites and things. But it is, and that's a really big thing, Danny, the trust factor, because if we'll use this example, right? If I'm talking about landing pages and I send you to a landing page that doesn't work on your phone, you're going to go, she doesn't know what she's talking about, right? Because it doesn't work easy, right? So, that's one of the things. And it really, so that leads me to this one. You have to test. You have to look at it on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop. Send it to a trusted friend or colleague. Have them test it out for you, because you really want to take a look at it. Test it on different browser windows, right? So you put in so much effort into these landing pages that you don't want to lose people, right? You don't want it to go away. So, do your A/B testing, whatever. But before you even get into that, which really brings in your audience, does it work on all the platforms? Does it work so people can actually do what you want them to do, right? And it makes such a difference. It's worth taking the time to test. So, as Danny mentioned, right, there are so many more options for creating landing pages, and they're getting better and better at making it easy for us. And they're just, it really is like a whole other webinar, or presentation to talk about it.
I'll be back next month.
And I do have, and again, I do have a blog post about some of them that are out there, but admittedly, the blog post is probably about a year old at this point, so there's probably even more. But what I've noticed is that even your most email clients, so whether you use MailChimp or Constant Contact, etc., a lot of them are offering landing page creation right in your system, so that makes life sort of easy. There's tons of resources out there that you can really set up a good CRM, like sales funnel. So, because the whole point of again, is you've got to follow up. So if someone clicks through, you don't want to, have them go nowhere. Like you really want to make sure that you, at a minimum, get them on your email list or following you on social, like something. You want to stay connected to them.
It's like walking into a really be excited and going to a party, like, yeah, I'm here, I'm joining the party. And then you get there, there's like no music. There's like a half bowl of eating Doritos. It's like,
yeah. It's like, what's happening? Yeah. So
yeah.
It's like, you really want to be able to follow up. But, and I think I've come to the end here. So the big thing is just, we want to make sure that Danny gets your email address. If, or you could email me too, but I'm happy to share the guide, the guide with you. So let me see if I can escape from here and then go back to
StreamYard does cool banners. So I pulled up and I have messageartist.com on the screen right now, because I need to get more things prepped in advance now that I'm stepping into StreamYard and YouTube. Because so in terms of, yes, that guide. So in terms of how's the best way for them to get that, or like put your notes in the comments and I know the landing page was a little bit longer, so I didn't put it up here. But what we can do is we can certainly go back into YouTube and Facebook on the page for everyone who's watching there, and we can drop the link in there. So all they have to do is click. And they
can just download it. Yeah. I think that's probably the easiest way to go, for sure. Because it's just I like it because it's a nice little visual guide that that you can kind of just have there as you're creating your landing page, and you're like, oh, don't forget this, don't forget that, kind of thing. And
it's so easy. And I've been in marketing for, like decades. And I still remember like going through things and, getting something created with my team and all that kind of stuff, and getting to it. I'm like, okay, guys, like where's whatever the call to action was, like, and have it just be like missing. Like maybe we pulled like too much of a late night, but it's like, okay, we kind of forgot the website, like, oh,
yeah. And it's the things that you think you're not going to forget that do get lost, right? And And it's amazing. Like I notice all the time, like people send me emails, right? And they're even like designed like a constant contact email, say, right? So they're coming through there. It is amazing to me how many times people are giving good information, but there's no link to their website at all.
Yes.
No link at all. So if I wanted to click through and learn more about this person or learn more about what they're offering, I have to go hunt them down. And let's face it, it's not going to happen.
No.
Not going to happen. So, it's the little things, those little details that really do make a difference. And, and like with, I find with, this is again more an email, but have a link on your images, like, so if you say you send an email out for a landing page and you have a button, well, make sure that link that's in the button is also in the link of whatever image you're using, because in that way, no matter what they click on, they're going to your landing page. Right?
That is a really good point. We have Yvonne has a question here too. Is how important is branding like colors and such on your landing page?
Important. Because again, anything we're doing to promote brand awareness, or again, getting someone to literally buy or book or whatever it is with you, you want to make sure that they're associating you with everything from the start to the very finish, right? So you want to make sure that whatever branding you have on your website and the branding you use on your social media platforms, which also should be together, matched together, is also on landing pages and the emails that send. And it's the idea of it's called message match, right? So you want to make sure that visually, no matter what they're doing, you don't lose them. So like if you used a pay-per-click ad or a social post, whatever image is there is the image you want them to see when they land on your landing page, right? You want it to flow. It's not that you can't have other images on your landing page, but you want to make sure it flows. And colors, the fonts are important. Now, admittedly, our digital world has made branding around fonts a little challenging because you can't, specialized fonts aren't web friendly, right? They're not. So unless it's an image, it's going to change based on somebody else's font access on their computer. So you have to kind of go for what I think is like the simple thing. So, for a long time, Arial was the thing because Arial showed up on both PC platforms and Mac platforms. Not such an issue anymore with that, but you still have to have web-friendly fonts, and you pick something like that. But the colors, your logo, that helps convey the brand, and the imagery too. Like, if you tend to use a certain tone and style of imagery, you want to stick with that in your landing page stuff as well.
And Yvonne, I just want to say, based on like your photo coming through, like I want to go see what you're about and look at your branding, because this is beautiful. This is a gorgeous picture of you.
Sparkly Yvonne. Love it.
Oh my gosh! So please, if you have any other questions, keep them coming, and we will make sure that you know how to get a hold of Deb, who's our wonderful guest today at the message artist and messageartist.com, and we will drop the link of that of this presentation, because I want to look at that, because I'm a giant fan of checklists. And I'm going to take your guide and go through my landing pages and go through that guide. And I really appreciate people joining me on YouTube. This is the first time I'm ever going to ask for like and subscribe. So what I have been doing in other platforms is doing an interview like this once a month and bringing on someone who has this amazing value and amazing knowledge to share to help all of us. And I'll be doing this and I will be bringing it to YouTube, in addition to my Facebook group, the Women's Small Business and Leadership Network. We're like 1,100 strong now over there. I know, it's just awesome women getting together and helping each other. That was the vision, and it's coming together. And connect with me and my landing pages and freebies, including my book that I wrote last year, the Brilliant Businesswoman Your Guide to Entrepreneurial Success. You can get a copy of it if you go to my website at dannywhitestone.com. And I should have a landing page there, Deb. I should have a.
You should.
Yeah, I don't hide anything, guys. I'm like, this is what I go through in my head when I go on. I bring out my own experts. I'm like, oh, I need to do that.
Yes, no, definitely. Your book should have its own landing page. And that's not to say, here's the thing to remember. So, and like, this is something, Yvonne, you might be interested in hearing too, because Yvonne is a book publisher and editor. And so with a book, right, of course, you want that on your website. So if someone does land on your, on your website, the book, you have it in the navigation. You can see it. But you should also have a book landing page that you can promote it via social, paid ads, whatever the case may be. Also, no, sorry, brain just crossed there. I was going to say something that made no sense.
No, having written a book and having an actual like landing page for it that it's on my to-do list, and I need, okay, that's it. I'm pledging to everyone who's listening and do like, yes, I will have, by the end of the week, I'll have my landing page up for my book.
Yeah, right. And Danny, don't forget, let's talk before, I know you're planning another book, it's not quite yet in the works, but it's coming, right?
That's
so, you can use landing pages, for instance, if you are, a book is a great example. But basically, even before it's published, have a landing page to start collecting emails. Hey, you'll be the first to know when it's available, right? That kind of thing. You can generate some excitement. So there's all sorts of ways to use landing pages that are really, really effective.
And I love how you broke that down, because like, no matter where you are on this journey, like I love having people on. That's why I'm trying, in terms of this channel being Startup and Scale, because people in startup need to be learning about landing pages. But
Yeah.
like, I've done a lot in business and marketing especially with my last company, and hit those entrepreneurial high notes that we all want to hit. But still, I'm looking at it and like, oh yeah, you always come back to those basics and refine. So it's I was wondering about this channel when I was setting up. I'm like, oh, do I do both? But it's applicable to both.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely is, for sure. So this has been fun.
This is fantastic. This has gone wonderful. Let me bring up our wonderful. So Deb, you can find Deb at themessageartist.com. We're going to drop her link to that amazing guide, which we all need to get our hands on, in the comments on YouTube and in Facebook. And thank you everyone for joining us today. Deb, feel free to give your own send off and say thank you, but I'm just really so grateful. Thank you for spending your time with us today.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity to share some little bits that I know. And obviously I get very excited about this stuff, because it makes me very happy when I can help people like figure out how to do something so it's effective for them. Because, marketing is huge. It's vital and it's huge, and there's so many different ways to do it. So when landing pages could really be an effective tool for small business owners, for sure. So.
Oh, most definitely. And actually, hold on one second. And as my learning curve here, for those of us to stay with us, let me see if I can post a comment in this chat in StreamYard and have it get out to you guys and have it be dropped right there. Hold on one second. I just copied and pasted her rebrand checklist. Is that
Yes, I was gonna say, on my site now I have another my freebie is the rebrand checklist. So it's helpful even if you're in a new branding project, say your new business, but it's really geared, I think, toward those folks who've been in business for a little bit, and so many people change things around, between years 2 and 5. Like, this is a great way to like, okay, now we're going to really step it up in terms of branding. And
oh, great. Okay, well, you guys get an extra bonus, because I just dropped in oh, thank you, Karen. Let us know chat's not always visible in replay. So we make sure that we get the links dropped to you where you are. And Deb, thank you again so much for joining us here. And I wish everyone a great day.
Great. Thank you. Bye, everybody.